Welcome back to Animal Crossing New Horizons. I'm dear darling, shall we see what's going on our lovely little island of Fawnhallow today. Of course, today being Sunday. Not much, basically. We're gonna see if anyone basically has moved into Bruce's old house, and if no one has, then we'll be doing some more Nook Mart island hopping today, searching out for, not the perfect villager, but like a villager we'd love to invite. Of course, our list is getting shorter and shorter as we get more of our favourite villagers. I say we, I get more of my personal favourite villagers onto this island. But again, we're looking for Biscuit, Phoebe, Fauna, and someone else who I can't think of. Apollo. There we go. So, anyway, hello everyone. Right now in Fawnhallow, it's 5:03 PM on Sunday, May 30th, 2021. Now for today's announcements, today we have a visitor staying at the campsite. Go meet our guest in person and find out more about them. I can read out some second. That's exciting. Do you think we'll have any of the predetermined guest of honours beforehand? I wonder actually if it's better to do it, if it is actually like say Biscuits in this campsite or something, if we instead do Nook Mart island hopping to go find potentially like Fauna or something and then invite Biscuit afterwards once we've invited Fauna already to get Biscuit to kick out, well not kick out, but he'll move into someone who we don't necessarily need to have around anymore. Hold on, that's I mean someone to move out who is not one of our top 10 favourite villagers, I suppose. Not need to have anymore is a bit harsh wording, isn't it? Tell me, hun, do you ever feel down in the dumps? I certainly do. Oh wait, no, we've definitely had this before. This letter. I don't mean like, oh, we've villager X has used up all available resources, no longer needed, and I can like cut them off. I just mean like we've become best friends with them, and if they want to see new horizons, then so be it. Again, sounds like, you know, I'm sort of digging myself a hole here, so we'll sort of just ignore it and move on. Well, of course, I'm going to check the Nook Mart terminal just to get my daily check-in miles. What have I been up to today? I've been playing Fez, actually. Actually, you know what? We'll start by, because Fez is a whole different thing. I played, I talked about it yesterday, Deepest Sword, which is like a Ludum Dare or Ludum Dare game. It's pretty fun. It doesn't take too long. It took me about 20 minutes and I got to the end. It was an interesting concept, and in fact, I made it in like, I can't remember, 48 hours or something. It's super cool. Vitamin D, sure. And go out into the sun, get your little dose of vitamin D. And yeah, it was a pretty fun experience. That's about it. There was not really much, not much else to say. I'm not sure how it became well known or popular. Is it like a helicopter or something? What's going on? But yes, let's see. Someone's already moving in. Claude. I don't know who Claude is. I did do a bit more island hopping actually off camera, but I didn't do it for that much longer because, you know, it's not interesting. So we sort of left it be. Oh, Claude, you're a lazy rabbit villager. I have seen you. I didn't know your name was Claude, right? So yes, someone unfortunately has moved in already, but that's fine. We'll just go about our usual business, and yeah, I mean we've got another out. We'll see if this is someone else. Otherwise, we'll just be making friends with Claude when he moves in, waiting for someone else to ask to move out. Bo? It's a bunch of fun camping on this island. The air smells good, like food. I want to bite it, Salt Lick. That is tempting. That is really, really tempting to invite Bo. But who would I ask to leave if I invited Bo? That's a question. Because Bo is definitely a villager I like a lot. And I guess it'd be one of these three, right? But I'm going to have to let that ruminate for a little while, because I did not expect to see Bo in there. But it's always the toughest decision when you see someone who you like, but they're not on the short list of 4 currently. So that makes it a bit more difficult. So yeah, I did about 20 more islands or so of hopping. Didn't find particularly anyone of note from what I can recall. Or if I did, I just don't remember. So, shrug. Fossils, bugs, balloons, and talking. Okay. Wait. That's only 4. What's the other mission? Oh, hot item. Okay. I don't know if we'll do that. But yeah, today I played some Fez. These episodes, I don't know when we're going up actually. I can see when we're going up. These episodes will be going up on the week of, let's see, 8th of June. So they'll be going up on 11th and 15th of June. I'm going to be honest, I'm kind of stuck on Fez right now. I've done, I think, most of the obvious puzzles and solutions. I've done most of the exploration. I'm still missing 2 bits. I don't know where I'm missing them, but I didn't look all too hard last time. But I bet basically being, if you don't watch the series, I'm backtracking through previous areas now to try and find out different secrets I have now missed. The thing is now I've gone to quite a few of the secret places and just been like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what to interface with. I assume it's got to be codes of some sort that I've got to put in, but I don't know where the codes are and I haven't found them. But I don't know. I guess this is what we're going to talk about now. I'll just like talk about some of my ideas I've had and things I'm ruminating over, because you know I spent some time to think about it after first. Because when you're actually recording a video, you don't really get to sort of sit back and think about what you're doing. You sort of have to. You constantly not constantly have to be doing something. You just are doing something, I suppose, the entire time. So that makes it kind of difficult to really sort of reflect and try and figure out where you're going. But there's quite a few things we haven't seen. We've seen in Fez, which I haven't even got exactly. Was that new dialogue? I have no idea already. I'm sorry, I skipped through all of it. So I'm just going to ruminate out loud and see if anything really comes up to me. So we've got the telescope room, which apparently there's another secret in there. If you haven't seen the first series, then this is going to be very confusing for you. I'm sorry, but to be fair, I feel like a lot of conversations I have are very confusing for you if you don't understand the context behind them. But here I go talking about them anyway. I've got the telescope room, which you've got the first code for with the constellations. Apparently there's another code somewhere hidden in that room. I don't exactly know what. Well, I shouldn't say code. I've assumed it's a code. It might not be a code, but I mean, nearly every single secret is a code of some sort. Thank you, Raymond. There's another secret, I suppose, hidden inside the telescope room. I don't even know what it could be. I assume it's something to do with looking through a telescope, because that's like, you know, the only thing in that room that I know of. So I know that had no leads. There's what was the one connected to the telescope room? I can't remember. I think that's an Octopus Statue. I have no idea what to do with that. I assume that's going to be a code I find somewhere else, and I'm meant to look at it. We've got a lot of these like little monolith things about. I mean, monolith's a bit of a vague term because there's so many things which are monoliths. I'm talking about like the little poles with like the cube like hole in the middle, I suppose. And that place. See, the thing is, that one I'm pretty sure once I figure it out, I'm gonna get like 5 anti-cubes from it, because there's like 5 of those monuments things around the place. I just haven't figured out what I had to do with them to actually get presumably what's an anti-cube hidden within them. But they've been repeated, and it's just something similar like the tuning for. Sorry, Fez spoilers. If you haven't played Fez, then I'm sorry, this is not the episode for you. It's not the Animal Crossing episode for you, but so yeah, consider yourself warned, I suppose, from now on. There's a tuning fork monument thing where you can stand on a tuning fork and you hear vibrations in like the soundtrack, I suppose, which gives you the code depending on combination of left and rights. So that took me a long time to figure out, and I only figured it out because I randomly stumbled across one, and Dot had different dialogue where she said something was like, "Hey, do you hear that?" And I was like, "Huh, that's not what you normally say. Normally you say, I can't remember what this means, or I don't know what this is, or I wonder what this is, or something like that." And that actually got me to listen to a soundtrack, and I heard a faint vibration, and I figured that out. So I'm hoping that there's like one more monument somewhere I haven't discovered, and that's exactly what I need to do. And once I find that monument, I'll figure out exactly what I had to do to get those anti-cubes, and once I do that, 4 of them will like fall into place. But yeah, that hasn't currently fallen into place. I spent some time trying to couldn't figure it out. There's quite a few other rooms which I know there's something going on, but I don't know what. Like there's this giant owl statue, and we've seen owls as a common motif. So this is just like how my puzzle brain works, I suppose, trying to figure stuff out. So I felt like talking out loud might help me. So this, I don't know, this is very selfishly for me, but if maybe you find it interesting, if you're someone who's played through Fez, please do go watch that series and give me hints about maybe, I mean, if you give me hints now, you'll probably give me hints to things I haven't done. So I don't know, you might have to do some preemptive guessing of what things I haven't done, or what things I'm talking about in this episode. But yeah, well, oh yeah, we've seen owls as a big motif throughout all of Fez. I don't know the significance of them, but we've seen quite a few owls. We've even seen owls, the animals, scattered about the place. I can't figure out what this owl statue does, but it follows the rotations of your camera as you rotate around, which seems significant somehow. Apart from that, I can't figure out anything, how you even interact with that puzzle in the first place. So apart from that, it's sort of just like there's this big owl statue, which I know is significant somehow, but I just don't know how to interact with it or interface with it in the first place, which makes it difficult to do anything with. What else have we got? Let me think. Oh, we got that. We got three hidden places actually for I assume anti-cube locations. One of them is, I'll get onto that one. Okay, the most straightforward one I think is there's a room with like 10 or so of cube nets, and you have 6 cubes in the room, and presumably you're meant to rearrange your cubes to make the cube net shapes or something. But the thing is, I don't really know which cube net I'm meant to make because there's 10 of them, and when I made some of them, nothing happens. So it's sort of just like I don't know what I'm doing. there's no way I had to make all 10 of them, and there must be something, because I'm missing that, because that one seems so straightforward to me. It's obviously something strongly related to these 6 cube nets, because you have 6 cubes and you've got 10 nets on the tablet, and you know. But there's something to do with making cubes there, because why else would they give you cube nets? But I don't know. The things which like make me a little bit confused about that is like, why do they give us all the cube nets? Like, why list all 10 of them? If there are even 10. I don't know, maybe there's more than 10 or something. There's like 15 or something, but they've listed 10 specifically. I mean, I guess you get more from rotations and flipping, but okay, fine. 10 non-isometric ones or whatever. Homeomorphic ones? I don't really know. Anyway, because that's so weird. But like, there's no way you can simultaneously make all 10. That's just unfeasible in the first place. So it's really got me thinking. There must be something significant about the fact we've got like so many of them listed on that tablet. I haven't figured out what. Oh, I was going to see what item was. I forgot. I haven't figured out exactly what though. And I wonder if it's like a wooden simple bed. It's probably the easiest way to make. I haven't figured out exactly what yet. Which one's wooden simple bed? This one? Oh, that's quite a lot. 18 wood. Fine. I haven't figured out what yet about like, what is a hint which tells me which cube net I need to make? Because as far as I can tell, in that room there is no significant markings or anything saying, hey, you need to make number 6 of 10 or something. I've got to assume all of them are feasible to make or possible to make, but as of right now, it's a little bit difficult being like, instead of... I feel like it's a situation where I figured out what to do, I just don't know... Hold on, that doesn't make sense. I figured out the general idea of what to do, I just don't know specifically what I need to do, which makes it difficult. So yeah, that's me talking out loud. I don't know. I mean, maybe one of the cube nets is more significant than the other, like, maybe the way it, like, is formed creates a shape which is significant in the Fez universe. Like, because you got the basic cross one, you know? You got a full vertical column and then 2 of them sticking out of the side. You got a few variants from that. Actually, I wonder how many variants there are. I remember, well, actually, sidetrack. We had, wait, I do need to catch insects, do I? We had this lesson about cube nets and, well, any sort of shape nets, I suppose, in primary school or whatever, and one of the, like, little things we had was, you got an audio gift, sure. The teacher put on like a PowerPoint display or whatever and had like different potential cube nets, and we had to basically figure out were they valid cube nets or not. And I remember, you know, things on that which I discovered while trying to figure out is like, if there's ever a 2x2 cube, that is not a cube net because that can't be made into a cube net. I can't remember other things as well. If there's ever more than 4 things in a row, that can't be a cube net. Actually, this seems like a maths question. How many different potential cube nets are there? Okay, I mean, you can start with a backbone of 4, I suppose. You can have... Because if you have a backbone of 4, it rolls up into a ring, and you just need to have 2 on either side. So if you're discounting like reflections and symmetries, you can have a T shape with a 2 at the top. Okay, so that's 1. You can bring it down so you get a bit of an offset. So keeping the left one fixed, you bring down the right one, so that's 2, 3, 4 to make up with a Z shape. And then all the others will be repeats, apart from that one, which is 5, and that one, 6. 7? No, not 7. Yeah, so there's 6 of them with a backbone of 4. And the question is, how many others are there? Well, there's at least 4 more. I'm just trying to see if I can figure them out in my head, which is a bit difficult, mind you. So I guess, like, an L shape or something? What did you get? A comedian's outfit. Well, it's green. Why not? It looks very flashy on you. Like a bachelorette or something, Audie. Like you got the infamous zigzag one. You just gave me your athletic jacket, sure. I wonder if that actually means she no longer wears it. If she actually straight up gave it to us, I don't know. You got the zigzag shape, so that makes it 7. You probably got like a T shape plus other. So how about like a? Okay, so that's a backbone of 4. What if we have a backbone of 3? I don't know, it's like a Google question or whatever. How many different cube nets are there? It's not something you can do in your head. It's something you got to write down. How many different cube nets are there? Do I need to search non-isomorphic? 11. So there's 11 of them. Which ones have I missed? Have they all got a backbone of 4, 3? Wait, 11? Wait, this is a backbone of 4. There's a backbone of 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sorry, you can't see what I'm doing. 6. And then the backbone of 3, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. Wait, what? There's 11? I'm sorry, I'm just trying to think. Because I'm like 90% sure that the Fez thing only had 10 in. Only had 10 different cube nets instead of 11. So it's missing one. Is that one of all? Are we meant to make a missing one? I think I've just solved a Fez puzzle. I think I just solved a Fez puzzle in Animal Crossing of all things. Hold on, I need to make a note of this. Okay, cube nets. 1 net missing? Question mark. Well, that's exciting. Maybe. Okay, now I want to record some more Fez so I can test that theory, if that's correct. Okay, so you see, talking out loud about games I'm playing helps me contextualize them, helps me think of different possibilities, and bada bing, bada boom, we've possibly solved one of the puzzles. Or at least we've got a decent lead. I mean, that screams to me like a puzzle solution. Like 10. The fact they very distinctly missed off one. Okay, that would point out how you would know which one to make, is because it's the one that's missing. How are you still holding with stamp rally? This is actually insanity, brothers. International Museum Day was like 2 weeks ago, wasn't it? But you know, fair enough. You gotta admire your commitment to it. Okay, so maybe I can talk about some other ones. Okay, but there's this other thing I wanted to talk about in Fez. Like, no, how do I link my thought process to this? How do my thought process link to this? Okay, basically there's another puzzle where basically there's this giant monolith in the middle which has Fez writing, because for some reason Fez has some like ancient ancient like hieroglyphic like script or something, which I've got to assume is like English but translated 1-to-1, because initially I saw that and I thought it was just flavor, but then it keeps coming up and now it's actually appeared in a puzzle room. So I'm just like, okay, to beat this game you actually had to figure out what this language is, and I thought that later on in the game you would get like something which would help you like translate it, like a dictionary or something. Actually, now I think about it, we do have an artifact which is like the writing artifact, isn't it? Maybe I should try using that in that room or something. That's another thing to note down. Hold on. Tuning fork monolith. No. What was it? Giant language stone question monolith. Try using artifact? Question mark. That seems plausible, and maybe it would like translate it. Anyway, the whole point is that room has a giant monolith, which I assume is asking some sort of question or some sort of riddle, and then you got like 6 or 8 blocks. I can't remember. It's been a while since I've been in that room. That you can put down to presumably spell out the answer to the riddle. Problem is, I don't know how to read the Fez language. I don't know if you even can read the Fez language, or if it's something that you need an item for to translate. But the vibe I'm getting from Fez is, because it's a puzzle game where you sort of like have a lot of big brain sort of answers, is you probably had to actually figure out the language. I don't know how to figure out my language. Like, I have done bits and pieces of like code breaking. It was actually like I was gonna say like a school time activity. That's a bit misleading. It was more like we had like a sort of like enrichment classes, like lunchtime activity things about code breaking, that sort of thing. So I do vaguely remember how to do it, but I haven't really taken the opportunity to sort of sit down and try and figure it out. So maybe that's something I should do, is I should go a point of progress is to try actually go and like try and figure out the language by looking at finding all the pieces of text where it's written down, and try and see if I can discern any text or language, I suppose. But that would require me having to like look past Fez episodes. I don't know. I'm gonna put that as a potential thing to do. You know, I don't often. Oh, actually, that's like I actually do sometimes. Normally in puzzle games, I do actually quite often go back and watch past videos if I feel like I missed something. But this is a good point. I think I might go back and through some of my past Fez episodes and try and like screen cap text. Try and translate Fez language. But I feel like if that's something I should do on video rather than not on video. Maybe I can collate them all, not on video, and then try and figure them out on video. That would seem fun, because that I'm pretty sure if I do that, I can solve that whatever that giant monolith riddle presumably is. Well, at least I hope I can. If I can't, that'd be, you know, sad. But maybe ask some like really difficult question. I'm just like, ah. But anyway, yeah, there's a lot of Fez like translations, which I feel like need to happen, because there's also, I'm pretty sure, has some sort of numeral numbering system, which I haven't figured out either, and I don't know how to figure out. But maybe if I find the motivation to try and translate the language, I could be able to translate numbers as well. There's language, letters, and numbers, question mark. Because they do have, spoilers again, bigger spoilers again, some sort of code input system that I found with a Tetris block shape with Tetronomos or whatever they're called. If you input a direction or jump or you jump, it corresponds to a different shape, and then there's like these codes written about where that's how you input the code, is by doing these different by following the different shapes and translating it to like a series of inputs, which you then can. Oh, I forgot we're meant to use a wardrobe. Used to get anti-cubes. I forgot what I was saying. So I thought that was just language, but you know, maybe by translating the language, I'll be able to find a lot more contextual clues about all the signs that are written about. I don't know. I feel like that's the next thread I need to put on. It didn't actually occur to me that, well, not that it didn't occur to me, it did occur to me that maybe we could translate the language, but it didn't occur to me that it's not something you translate in-game, it's something you actually need to translate, like, in real life. Well, I mean, I did consider it, but I thought that would be a bit too difficult, but now I'm starting to see the sort of scope of the Fez game. I think that's actually becoming more and more plausible possibility. So I'm going to have to put my code breaking skills to a test and see how much I remember. Which is going to be kind of difficult, I'm not going to lie. But I know things. You try common words, you look for the most common letter that appears. Well, this, to be fair, this is under the assumption that's a one-to-one translation of English. If it's not, then it's going to all be for naught. But, you know, that's a kind of a joy of puzzle games. Sometimes your progress is for naught. But it's all about the experiment of trying things. But yeah, you try, you look for the most common letter, or the frequency of what symbols appear. That letter's probably E. You can look for short words and assume that they're things like the and and. Try and look for contextual clues about, and see what words you can sort of glean from that. It's sort of like, you know, doing Heaven's Vault. Here and there. So that'll be good fun. I mean, that's what Heaven's Vault's prepping me for, I suppose. Or has prepped me for. Let's get some coconuts so we can do some crafting. You know what we should have done? We should have crafted a wood bed while we're inside. In fact, it's not too late. Let's go back and craft a wood bed. So we can set up for a hot item. Yeah. But there's another room I want to talk about. Oh yeah, there's this candle room. That candle room, I'm not really sure what's going on, to be honest. There's a room which is basically empty except for this candle. That one, I'm almost certain has to be you input a code somewhere. Or like, you find a code and then input it in that room. What the code is, I don't know. To be honest, there's no code written anywhere, like in the backgrounds or that sort of thing. The only thing in that room of significance, if I can recall, is candles. Just a load of candles. And the candles, to be fair, are of different sizes. They're scattered about. Maybe they spell out some sort of pattern. In some form or another. But I cannot figure out exactly how you do it. But another thing I thought was interesting is candle sort of like distribution. There's an Octopus Statue which has a similar sort of thing, where it's got like scattered red things about, and I wonder if they're linked somehow. I think I mentioned that in the episode. I don't know if they are. They might not be, but if they are, whoa, that's big brain. What other locations are there that were significant. I can't remember off the top of my head. It's like some places there's just secrets somewhat like hidden in plain sight or something. I just like go to the areas. Like, I thought this was just like a transitional area from like the woodland area to the next area. How on earth is there a secret hidden in here? But apparently there is. And it's just like, huh? I don't know. It's difficult. It really is difficult, I must say. Maybe that's something to do. I mean, I'll like do my thought process of trying to figure out the Fez language. Or maybe that could be a separate one-off episode. I don't know. I don't really know. It'd be an interesting thing to have as a separate video, to be fair. What? What? Huh? How very strange. We didn't even need to probably talk to him. He just said hi. That was it. He just said his thing and then left. Does that usually happen? I don't remember that happening before. What other first puzzles have I been stuck on? To be fair, I feel like I've been doing pretty well. Like, I finished the entire sewer area, from what I can tell. Well, at least according to the map, I finished it. There's quite a lot in the graveyard area. Oh, there's the treasure maps as well, which, to be fair, I didn't try. Oh yeah, that's why I was saying, I'm pretty sure there's these 4 treasure maps which look exactly the same, except for they got different symbols on. And these symbols, I'm pretty sure I've established, or guessed at some point, that I think they're the actual numbers. I just, like, the first counting system. I just don't know what the numbers represent. But now think about it, if I figure out that numerical number order, I'll be able to use those treasure maps as well to figure out, because I think what's written on them is 1, 2, 3, and 4. I should go back and look at them. And see if I can have a decent guess at which one's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's actually probably a good starting place. I wonder if they've got the numbers like written down somewhere. Like just the numbers 1 to 10, you can sort of like infer what the numbers are. I don't know. I'm going to have to go look back through Fez videos. It's going to be quite a nuisance, but I think that's a mark of a good puzzle game, to be honest. A game that gets you thinking, even outside of a game. And that's always a mark of a good puzzle game for me, is when I go play it again after I've done my recording for the day. I'm just like, oh, I was just so infused by playing this game. I had to go and record another video because I got an idea. Does that happen, you know, with not Papers, Please, what's it called? Return of the Obra Dinn. And I'm tempted to go back and record another Fez episode now with that and try the CubeNet idea, but I feel like I should give a crack at doing the language first. Maybe I will make a sort of like one-off episode. I'm going to collect all like the language that appears in the game, and maybe I'll make a one-off episode of me trying to decode the language and the numbers when they appear. That's going to be really difficult though, but it might make a fun episode. I don't know. Part of me is like a bit nervous because like code breaking is actually kind of difficult. I wasn't like amazing at it, but you know, substitutes and ciphers, not the most difficult thing to necessarily decode. Once you sort of get the knack of it, get the pattern. So I'm feeling a bit infused. I'm gonna try it after I'm done recording this. I'm gonna go collect all the information. I don't know if I'll record it today. Maybe I'll record it tomorrow. But you know, thanks, invisible Animal Crossing viewer, I suppose. I know you haven't really been responding exactly to what I've been saying because there's a bit of a one-directional conversation, but you know, it's sort of like rubber duck debugging. Have you heard about that? Whenever you got a bug with your program, what you do is you explain your program line by line to a little rubber duck that sits on your desk, and then a lot of the times you'll be able to find out the bug, because it just takes you. What it basically does is it forces you to go slowly and to think about exactly what each line does. And by explaining to someone else, you can often catch exactly what it is that's going a little bit haywire in your code. That's what I was doing right now, rubber duck debugging, but with my Fez puzzle stuff. I might need to open up Fez and see which puzzles I got left, but you know, well, I guess I'll do that at running time. But the worst thing will be if I open it up and then like, well, I was gonna say the worst thing will be if I open it up and then solve a puzzle by accident. I mean, technically I've kind of solved one of the puzzles now, but you know, it happens. I'll just point to this episode Be like, oh yeah, and go watch the Animal Crossing episode day if you want to hear some of my behind the scenes thought process during while I'm playing a game, which is a bit less intensive to think through, you know. It's a lot easier to talk and think about the puzzle aspects while playing a game which is quite mindless, well, instead of playing something like Fez where I'm actually actively trying to interface with it. At the same time, on Animal Crossing, I'm still just like someone in the background. That was actually, you know, surprisingly good progress for Fez. In an Animal Crossing episode, but there we go. I guess this episode has been called Fez. So if you haven't watched them, thank you very much. It's been Animal Crossing New Horizons, not Fez, as you might expect. I've been Darling, and likes, comments, subscription, shares, all greatly appreciated. Links down below. I hope we can see each other again, but for now it's our farewell. So until next time, bye bye for now.